So today in Learning with Miss Roseberry, we are going to change the battery on my 96 Jeep Cherokee because I did something silly with the locks on the doors and they were stuck open and the battery ran all the way dead and I tried to jump it, doesn't work. So I'm going to show you how to change a battery in case you ever want to know. It's fun. Come with me. First thing you have to do is pop the hood. Most of them are labeled, see it says hood, and you pull. I can even do it left-handed. I'm taking you through this step by step because a friend of mine didn't even know how to do it, or lift her hood. So usually there's a little latch you reach under, and then you prop it up. And then some newer cars lift by themselves, and some, sorry, this hood is heavy. You have to put this little stick. So the stick was laying along here, and then put it in a little hole. You can get it up higher if you want. There's that one back there, but I just put it on that one. All right, so here's the battery, which probably would have lasted a little longer. I found out at Advanced, they have, this one, particular one has a 2-year warranty. So I'm gonna take off, this is the negative, this is the positive, red and black, usually labeled. I'm gonna put the battery back in right like this, and you're gonna help. Well, you're gonna watch. All right, look at this. The batteries look very similar, slightly different brand. This one is made in Mexico. Huh, interesting. It also has a minus sign on the negative side and a plus sign, and it comes with this little red cap. So I know that that's the red side. So I've got it kind of sitting right here. I'm gonna move it in just a minute, but it's sitting right here and it has the same numbers on it, even though it came from a different place. Very similar batteries, probably about the same cost. I think it was $100+. I don't remember, I could get the receipt. So, just out of curiosity, in case you ever wondered, there is liquid in your battery. It's called battery acid. Can you hear it? Oh, this thing's heavy. Sounds like water moving around. And there was a guy on YouTube who showed you how, he was a survivalist, how you could renew a dead battery with Epsom salt and water. You pop these things off and then you drain the acid and you neutralize it with baking soda and you pour that back in and you charge it up. But I'm not ready for all that. Maybe next time. I do like learning how to work on cars though, and my dad and my granddad and my uncles, and we all lived out in the country and we didn't have a whole lot of money, so we had to learn to do things ourselves. So that's why I'm trying to learn to take care of my own car. A little bit survivalist, a little bit just, I like to fix things. That's why I'm a teacher. I like to learn. I gotta get my tools. Be right back. So what I'm doing now, I got my big tool kit. I bought that for the last job I did. This is called being a shade tree mechanic, which means I don't have a shop. I don't even have a garage. Sometimes people out in the country just work on cars in the shade because it's hot. I'm sweating. Whew. It's like 90 degrees out here and we're on asphalt, so you know the road makes it hotter. But anyway, the first thing I'm gonna do is tilt this down here so you can see it. Is I have to get a tool that fits these two bolts. Theoretically they're the same size, although the last job I did had 3 different nuts and bolts on it that were all 3 different sizes. That's why I had to buy the toolkit, because I didn't have the 3 different sizes. I was missing one. It was very frustrating. So I had to put a pause on that. So let's find the right tool. All right, so I'm gonna try to show you some different ones. This is a Crescent Wrench. It conveniently says Crescent, and it is a 1/2 inch. You have inches and metric, and this one is loosening up nicely, so I just kind of guessed. I looked at it and it works. So then this is where the tricky part comes in, and your tool becomes leverage, and you have to kind of pry it off there. These are supposed to slide apart, so this will come off the battery. And this is where, being me, I'm not super strong, so sometimes I may have to call in reinforcements to get that to come up, but this should come off. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, yay, I have one. All right, I'll try to show you the other tool you could use on this one. But let's see if it's the 1/2 inch too. And I always get messed up, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. But if you try it one way and it doesn't loosen, try it the other way. I think left is toward me. I know. It's clockwise and counterclockwise. Look at that. That works fine. So I'm just going to go with what I have. This is going much easier than I thought. And it should be easy. All right, and then I got to pry this apart a little bit. I think it's been on there a while. This battery had a 2-year warranty, but they probably last longer than that, especially if you don't mess up the car like I did. This one would have lasted longer. All right, there we go. So that comes off. So you got negative, positive, off, and now I've got to get these two off. Wouldn't it be nice if they were also a 1/2 inch? Well, look at that. Sometimes when things are loose, you can just do it with your hand, which is even easier. But it's got this bar holding it in. This is also why I usually don't have my nails manicured, because I garden and I paint and I do all this car stuff. I may not have to take that all the way off. I don't know. Sometimes it's just playing around with it. Oh, and see this thing lifted up out of the way. Isn't this nice? I have a 2014 Ford Escape, which I traded with my daughter for a Jeep Cherokee, and my friend Brian fixed them up for me because you had to take apart, you had to take the windshield wipers off to change the battery on the Ford Escape, and I thought that was crazy. I mean, I did it, but that was a pain. Let me pause it for just a minute. Okay, so apparently you do have to take this all the way off. So that's the other thing. You got to keep track of your nuts and bolts, unless you have a stash of old ones. They're getting nice and dirty too. I'm gonna go to the pool after this. It's quite warm. All right, so this comes all the way off like that, and put it right there, hopefully not lose it. And then this lifts up. I can probably get the battery out, yeah, without taking this one all the way off. We'll see. Yeah, it would be easier just to take it all the way off. Let me do that. It almost feels like you're right here with me. Sorry, this is probably, if someone was faster than me, it wouldn't take. Also, if you go to Advance Auto or Auto Parts store, they'll usually do it for you, unless it's a Ford Escape, and then you have to do it yourself. But those guys are usually really nice. All right, let's see. Then you just finagle it around. And look what I found. There was a green, this little pad that goes on the negative. And we'll put that back on. And taking this little thing off, that's the positive. Put this little ring on. I don't know what the purpose of that is, but it's there, so I'm gonna put it back on. And then we'll just wiggle this one back in. Finagle, 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 wiggle, wiggle. This is where I'm not super strong. Pause for momentary readjustment. All right, this is the part where sometimes they don't show you stuff, but anyway, this bolt dropped down, so I had to stick my arm down under there and just kind of wiggle it in. But there's a little shelf that the battery's sitting on, so once it sits down, it should fit back in there. So I got these bolts, pull those up. I'm gonna start those just so they won't keep dropping down. And I think they can just be hand tightened. So that's just holding your battery in place. I look like a real mechanic, right? And then you're just reversing the process. I just want those on so those bolts won't keep falling back in. So then you put that on. That's the negative. That's the positive. Ooh, did you see those little sparks? So, can you hear that? You can see. I'm gonna try to get the camera down in here so you can see the little sparks. That means it's working. Oh, it's smoking too. All right, so now I'm gonna tighten those up. And that's what you want. Although sometimes that's a little alarming. You want a little spark because that means there is connection and electricity. When in doubt, Google it. Because I did have a neighbor who tried to help someone jump their car and he hooked these up wrong because he wouldn't listen to me and he wouldn't Google it. And he did it wrong and it did spark a small fire. So, always double check. Call a friend. Ask the guys at the auto parts store. Look it up on YouTube like I do. Call your dad. I do all of that. Alright, so that is there. You can also use these tools to go round and round like this, which is a little, I mean, you can do either one. Just telling you, different ways. There's different tools. But that was kind of fun. And you can crank it down with this too if you want. Your fingers get tired. It's very satisfying, very satisfying. Spin around. You just want that. You're just kind of holding it in place so your battery won't move around. Oh, this one. I may have to reach my hand down in there again. Pull that stick up. There, I look like a real mechanic. My hand's down in the car. All right. Also, another little trick I did was I took a picture of the battery, so when I got to advanced, that's where I went. I had a picture of the battery to show them so they could double check it. All right, so then you put your tools back and I'm gonna get my keys because we're gonna start it and see if it works. So this is where I tell my kids in my class, cross your fingers. Hope it works. Yeah, if not, then I did something else wrong. Hold on, be right back. Okay guys, here's the moment of truth. Fingers crossed. Laren, hit it. Nothing. Oh. It's trying. That means it may be something else. Or maybe it needs to charge for a little bit. So this is where I have to go back to the drawing board and charge it. Dang, I was hoping that was it. We'll let it sit for a few minutes with this new battery and then we'll try it again. So, I did what I told you to do and I called my dad. And he had the suggestion that I try to start it while giving the car gas. So it worked. But if I took my foot off the gas, it didn't work. So I know that it's not the battery. And now I have a new battery because the battery wouldn't start even when I jumped it. So thank you for learning with Miss Roseberry about how to change a battery. Now I have to figure out why my car won't start. So that's a whole new video. All right, see you guys next time. Gotta go wash my hands and figure out what's wrong with this car. So here's a small addendum to the car battery changing. It was the battery, but it was also this little part over there, which I'll include pictures of over there, that lets air into the engine, and I had to take it off and clean it thanks to my neighbor Ralph. who is an actual mechanic and owns a company. So yay, thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Dad. And thank you, YouTube, for helping me know how to fix something. So now my car runs again. Yay! Thank you for learning with Miss Roseberry. And just remember, try again if at first you don't succeed.